The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
13 days until the NFL draft is officially underway. Today, we're going to be breaking down the film on some of the top prospects that have been linked to the New York Jets. Joe Blewitt will join us from JetX. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby. We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go, here on a Football Friday. If you're going to that event with the Badlands crew, I'll be there. My segment with Joe and Connor's around 8:30. I'll be hanging out with all the Jet fans in attendance beforehand. Before we bring on our great guest, the great Joe Blewitt, who will be joining us, a huge congratulations to our first ever as Maniac Madness champion, Mr. Bonesy. Bonesy, yesterday, taking down the king in what was an absolute classic. Unfreaking believable. 51-48 was the final score. With 30 minutes to go in the show, it was 50-50. So congratulations to Mr. Bonesy. A tremendous, tremendous performance all tournament long by King Lowski. Thank you to everyone who voted. We did the math yesterday. Over 40,000 votes were cast in As Maniac Madness, but there can only be one winner, and that winner is Mr. Bonesy, who will be at our draft party. And we will present Mr. Bonesy with the best of the best trophy named after the late, great Asmaniac Keith Best. And one quick note on Bonesy's win. So Bonesy won the actual Asmaniac Madness. And how about this? Since he picked himself to win in the Asmaniac Madness pool, he won the top prize in the actual bracket pool. So Bonesy not only gets a trophy, he gets a signed Sauce Gardner jersey. Congratulations to Who's Her Daddy, who receives a signed Jermaine Johnson jersey, and Yeti, who wins a signed Wayne Corbett jersey, our top three prizes in our Asmaniac Madness bracket pool. So congrats to everyone, and thank you so much for making this tournament so successful for the first time we've ever done something like this. Now, let's talk some Jets, let's talk some draft, and there's no one better to have on than a good friend of the show. You can check out his work over at jetsxfactor.com. The great Joe Blewitt joins us now. Joe, happy Friday, and welcome back to the show, my man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate the invite for sure. I feel like JetX has flooded the Jake Asman Show with Faria now, and with Sabo, and with Nania and Fialco and all this stuff. So I'm happy to get the invite. I appreciate it for sure.
So I love what you do, Joe. I mean, you're a must-watch on the website. I think your film reviews are as good as anyone out there. So when I reached out, the concept I had was, hey, let's have you kind of do an expedited film review of some of the top guys that the Jets have been linked to, and essentially just go through some of the pros and cons that you've noticed when you've watched all the tape on these guys. Because with 13 days to go, there always could be a surprise or two, but it kind of feels like we have a good idea on which players are likely going to be available to the Jets that they're going to have to decide between.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I'm excited to just get it over with. You know, we talk about it for such a long time, and now like we're in that dead period between free agency and the draft. And there's been so many narratives now where now we're going to draft Genty and all this stuff. So I'm ready to just get it all over with, figure out what exactly they do, and then evaluate these guys after the draft as well. So
it is going to be a lot of fun. Before we get to the film review, reminder, we still got some tickets left for our first ever Jake Asman Show draft party at Clinton Hall in New York City. Join me, Fireman Ed, some of your favorite Jet content creators, and diehard Jet fans as we watch the draft all together. Your ticket includes a complimentary drink, automatic entry into our raffle where you can win a bunch of Jet signed memorabilia, tickets to games, Yankee tickets, and a whole lot more. So click the link in the description, enter your name and email, and then purchase how many tickets you need. But we will sell out, so go today if you haven't done so already. All right, Joe, let's get it started here. We're going to screen share on your end, so we'll kind of go inside the mind of Joe Blewitt as he's breaking down some prospects, and I'll let you pick which one you want to start with. We have a couple to go through, and we're going to do the pros and cons of some of these guys. So you choose, dealer's choice. Which prospect are we breaking down first, Joe?
We'll do we can do Warren. I'm just trying to figure out exactly. Let's see if this works on the mono snap. If not, I can just share my whole screen. Can you see? You're not gonna be able to see anything there. Yeah, I'll just share my whole screen.
Here we go.
Okay, yeah, I'll share the whole thing, and if it is what it is. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, we'll start off with Warren. Let me know if you could see it now.
We could see it. Go ahead. So you pull it up, and I'll let you know when you're on the screen. All right, I see you got the film there. Just go full screen with the Warren film here, and now we all could see it. We see exactly what you're looking at.
Okay, yeah. So we're gonna start off pretty easy with Warren. It's a yak play, so it's really not the like it's not a play where I have to necessarily break down anything crazy. We'll watch it. Some of these plays, the film I got, like there's a little bit of like choppiness just to the first couple of ones. So I'm just giving people a heads up. It tends to be a little bit choppy at some points. So with the start of this play, just to point out where Warren is, he's right here. This is a play again, just showing the yak and showing some of his ability with the ball. After he catches it. So you have the quarterback with some spinner action there. He leaks out. It's a tight end leak play. And again, nothing even crazy here. Again, just chips down, obviously releases on the tight end leak. Now, I know a lot of people like at this point will say when he's about here, why not just push vertical for Warren? If he had a lot of speed, okay, push vertical, outrace guys vertically right there. But he's not he's not Tyreek Hill, right? So you're taught to get to the sidelines. He determines that the corner right here obviously has a high angle over the top, so he thinks that he can get underneath of him, get to the sideline. He's going to lower his shoulder, same foot, same shoulder. It's the most powerful position to be in. He also puts his form out a little bit there, which it's a little bit hard to explain, but it acts as a shock absorber. When you put your shoulder out or you get hit in the chest, it affects your base a lot. But when you put your form out like that, it acts as a shock absorber, and it's not going to affect your base as much. So, getting the foot out like that, getting the same foot, same shoulder, getting the shock absorber out there, completely trucks the DB. And then the other thing I like about it too is just the effort after the fact. A lot of tight ends right here just run out of bounds, but instead of doing that, lowers his shoulder again, pops a guy. So it's just showing off some of the yak ability he has again on a tight end leak with a quarterback spinner, not getting vertical, determining the angle of the corner, trucking him, throwing his shoulder down, trucking another guy, or at least popping another guy right there at the end. And then let's go to the next one, which this is just going to be a contested play from Warren, who he has good contested ability, no doubt about it. This play, something is wrong. I don't know if Warren screws up. I don't know if they're in a stack right here. I don't know if this receiver or tight end screws up because they both release inside. He goes vertical. He goes over the top and sits it down. And so I don't know if it's supposed to be a rub. I don't know exactly what the concept was, if somebody jacked it up or not. It's not the point of the play. The point of the play is to show just his ability with the ball in the air and some of the body contortion that he's able to do. And if I pause it right here, when he actually catches this ball, it's impressive for a guy who's 6'6", 6'5", 255, 260, to grab the ball behind him. Nice tight hands. The body contortion here for him to be able to adjust to that ball. Again, we could see some of the vertical ability he has, high pointing the ball, contortion. Obviously catch it. And then the thing that we like about it too is that he doesn't just pull the ball down. Corners are taught to, okay, if you get beat like this, they're going to stick their hand through the gap in your arms. So when you pull the ball down, the ball is naturally going to deflect into the arms, and the ball is going to rub out. So if the guy's kind of in your face like this, what you want to do is spin your body around and then tuck it in. So it's a really good, it's a good awareness by him to not just pull the ball into his chest, to turn and then tuck it. And also the secondary, the last part of it is he falls on the shoulder too. You don't want to fall into the ball. He tucks that ball, falls into his shoulder. So again, really good ability for his size just to be able to bring that ball down. So it's another thing that he offers is the contested catch ability. We'll move on to the next play. And this was something at the beginning of his film. I really wasn't impressed with the route running, but the last few games he definitely improved to me. And he just showed more nuance in the route running, which is important. He didn't create a ton of separation at first, but the last few games he undoubtedly created more separation. So why exactly did he start running better routes? It's obviously hard to know, but there was improvement. So he's right here at the bottom of the screen. And it looks like a relatively basic play. He's just running an over route, but there's little nuances that he does right here that makes the play very impressive. What he does here, and I'll show it in a little bit slower speed, is something we call stair steps. So when you're running an over route like this, if you're just going to run the over route and continue on like a hard angle inside, it allows the DB to just get on your hip and just stay on your hip the entire time. So you don't want to just take a very flat angle. You obviously want to release inside because you're running an over route. You want inside leverage, right? So that's what he does. But again, he doesn't want to just continue on this path because the DB is just going to stay on his hip. So what he does is take, let's see how many stair steps he takes. 1 stair step, 2 stair steps, 3 stair steps, push vertical, hold your line, get this guy to think you're running a vertical route. Again, push off a little bit at the end right here. We see the arm extend into the chest, and then he breaks on the over route. Obviously creates a large window for the quarterback to hit him. Obviously there's a guy underneath, but still in terms of the separation from number 8 right there, the little nuances of running those stair steps is a nuance you don't necessarily see every day from college tight ends. So I like the nuance of the route running right there, and I'm not allowing the DB to just get on his hips. So good one there.
What do you think? Joe, you mentioned this route running. Is that something that was like obvious, like to you immediately, or like did it take you watching a couple games and being like, wait a second, like this is different than what I saw? Because I think one of the knocks we've had on Warren is, oh, he's a one-year wonder, but we're seeing a guy get better in real time, even in the season where he's breaking out.
Yeah, it was surprising because like a lot of the first couple of games I watched, I'm like, oh, okay, it's very scheme dependent. He's wide open on seams. He's wide open on blown coverages. So I wasn't really impressed. But by about midpoint in the season to later on in the season, I just saw more nuance, more releases. Again, stair steps like we just saw, more push offs, more throw bys, more working the stems, shortening his stride before he gets to the DB, allowing quick change of direction. Like there was a lot more nuance late, and it's confusing to me because, okay, you're talking about a guy who's been in college, for such a long time. Why did he improve late? Was it a thing? Was it coaching staff? Was it him? I'm not necessarily sure. Now, he didn't get necessarily the opportunity to run with nuance, in his route running at first, because it was a thing where he was just schemed open, and there's a lot of blown coverages at first. So I wasn't overly impressed, but like you said, like towards the end of it, we saw the improvement in real time. Now, again, was that because of opportunity, or was that just because of him or the coaching? It's hard to necessarily know. That's one of the things you'd love to ask in the meeting rooms with these guys. And it's a large part of prospect evaluation is like the meeting rooms, the interviews, and it's something that we're not privy to. I just said it before. It's like, Denzel Mims, did we know he was like soft before we drafted him? Obviously we couldn't talk to him, so we didn't know, but maybe the Jets should have known. Like if bringing Keelan Allen or Keelan Cole is going to affect your mental, then that's a problem. But I'm not necessarily sure what happened exactly with Warren and why he got more nuanced. But again, it might have been an opportunity thing. But for this play, this is the blocking. Now, the thing I'll say with the blocking, a lot more of his blocks that were impressive were, and this is against a D-end outside linebacker, it was more against safeties, corners, linebackers than it was like true Y in line against defensive ends. So I will preface it by saying that the blocking was more of like it's a move blocker where he's impressive, but not like a true Y, kicking out a D end or base blocking a D end and driving him vertically. This is one of the more impressive blocks. Obviously, you'd see just by the name of the play, Warren block in caps.
Can
very
you show
impressive.
Where he is again for those just tuning in?
Yep. He's attached right here. He's going to be base blocking this defensive end outside linebacker. I'll go into it a little bit after we see it full screen, but he's driving this guy, 22 yards, out of bounds. So very impressive. A little bit choppy at the end right there. But in terms of the play, this is like raw power, his raw ability, but getting lower than the defensive end. It's hard to see exactly the technique. He does tend to bend from the waist a little bit, which we'll talk about in a little bit with a different prospect. But you don't want to bend from the waist because it does deflect your force a little bit. But in general, gets lower than this guy. I think he lands his right hand inside. The right hand stays attached to the hip, and he just consistently works the feet, reworks the hands, working the feet, and you see the aggression from him. him. Again, driving a guy from the 10-yard line out of bounds. We're talking about 22 yards from a D end right there, just based purely on effort, and then obviously some of the natural like strength he has. So he definitely has the ability and the strength to be a guy who blocks in line. We'll get to some of the weaknesses now and some of the things that he needs to improve on as a blocker, and we'll get into that because there is some technical things, and this is one of them right now. So they run, I believe this is a duo that they run from pistol. He is right here attached again against this defensive end. He does have some problems where he does tend to duck his head a little bit and his hands come wide. If your hands come wide, your chest gets controlled. Whoever controls the chest typically wins the rep. So we're going to see that here. He gets blown up a little bit by this defensive end, and then allows the tackle right there. So I had some issues with him blocking in line. I don't think he's a excellent blocker in line. I think he has still a ways to go there. To see him come off the snap, again, you're going to see, and again, I like to go through these reviews like frame by frame, but we see bending from the waist, ducking the head. You want a nice, arc in your back. You want to be linear. You don't want to bend from the waist again, because when you're really trying to generate force from the ground in your insteps, when your force comes up and through your legs, and then you bend from the waist, you're not allowing it to kind of run through in a linear way. So you're not going into the play with full force. Obviously, ducking the head on top of that, and then having your hands wide. You can see his hand right there and his hand right there. If you don't win control of the chest, you're typically not going to win the rep. And we see him, to his knees right there. On the front side of this, on this duo play, running back has to cut it back and obviously gets tackled by the defensive end. So there's some improvement there, just being more linear hand placement from Warren. Now, next one, this is another blocking play where I know DJ. He said that he's like an excellent blocker. I think he's more average to good as a blocker. I don't think he's a guy who is fully refined yet. We're going to see it here. This is a tight or an inside zone. Runs going opposite of Warren, who's right here attached to the line, number 44. The one thing you can unequivocally not do on the backside of a zone play or any play really, as a wide tight end, is let your face get crossed. If this is your assignment, this defensive end, if you get vertical here, like if you get horizontal a little bit vertical and he undercuts you and goes around the edge, fine. He's probably out of the play anyway, but you could not let him cross your face and get to the front side of this play. And that's what happens here from Warren. Comes off the ball a little bit slow. The angle's a little bit too vertical. Again, you really got to race to the inside here, even get overly high and let him undercut you. You cannot let him get in front of your face. Again, a little bit lackadaisical off the snap, lets this D end cross his face, and then the D end gets involved in the run. And it's pretty simple. That's like a coaching thing. Like, hey, get in front of this guy again, get undercut. Don't let him cross your face. But obviously not the best play for Warren there on the backside of a, let's see if it's an inside. It's probably a tight zone more than an inside, just a tighter aiming point for the running back. Inside's typically like outside of the guard where tight zones are more towards the A gap or the center. But
let's be real too, Joe, right? Like if they take him, like, sure, the blocking, like it's good, or it could be, maybe get better. Hopefully he's still improving there. But if you're taking him at 7, it's because you think he's a game-changing offensive weapon that's going to be, helping you score points more than anything else.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And like, that's a coaching thing. That's very easy to teach a guy, like, hey, get in front of this guy. Now, why is he not learning that at Penn State? I'm unsure, but it's a thing where, again, get undercut. Do not let him cross your face. So just race there. And even if you're being a little bit overzealous with your feet, again, I rather lose in one way rather than the other. So be even a little bit over aggressive there. But yeah, you're taking him to be a weapon. You're not going to take him to be just a blocking guy, because if you're just a block, you can grab a guy in the 4th or 5th round to be, a blocking guy. So it's more for the body control, the contested. I think his speed is actually a little bit underrated. I think his route running is a little bit underrated, and I know he doesn't have good separation numbers, but I'm curious to see, like, if you take those 3-4 games at the end of the season that I watched and the route running and extrapolate that over the full season, are the separation numbers much better for Warren. Now, this is the final play I have of Warren. This is something I saw, and I know he took a decent amount of snaps over other tight ends, like in terms of the amount of snaps. I think he had like 800, where some guys were sitting around like 600, 500. But there was quite a few plays where I saw him just completely lack effort, which I didn't love to see. But again, I'm going to be honest with these reviews. But he's right here in the inside slot. I think he just runs an over route, but I just want you to watch the effort here, because it was something that I did not love on his film, where he just is not really even trying. So the first play right there, again, you could just see it, and this is no effort on back-to-back plays. So I don't know if he's just gassed or if he's injured, whatever it may be. But we have him right there, not really giving effort. And then right here again, slot to the bottom, we're going to see him run a fade. And there's times where, like I talk about in these reviews, and I know you said you checked them out, so I appreciate that. I'm sure you've heard me talk about like route pacing. There's a lot of guys who will stem towards this DB, 80% speed, 85% speed, and then explode out of the break at 100%, just to kind of lull him to sleep a little bit. That's not the case here. You typically see, again, like 80 to 100 or 85 to 100. This is like, I think me and you drunk in the parking lot can run a little bit faster than that, So like, it's just, the lack of effort could be a little bit concerning with him. But again, I don't know if it's the fact that he just didn't get, or he got too many reps where he was gassed, but he's probably running at 25% speed there. And obviously he's the one of the quarterback's reads here. And if he just accelerated there, he might get a touchdown. So I'm not sure exactly why that was happening with Warren. But it happened more than I liked. It was, 2 plays here, probably another 3, 4, 5 plays throughout the review. So there's the positive and negative of Warren. I think that he is I think he's more athletic than people realize. I think he has good speed, again, good contested ability, good body control. He has the strength. He has the want to as a blocker. He definitely needs to clean up exactly how to block and the angles to take, and not ducking the head, not having hands wide, not bending from the waist. But overall, I definitely think he's a high ceiling prospect.
If he's there at 7 and the Jets took him, would you be on board, or you would say don't love it?
Yeah, no. So at first I was all about him, and then I started to watch some Membu and Campbell. I would say they're probably my 1A, 1B, with him being the second option. But if they took him, I would definitely not be. I would not be upset. It's a thing where, again, I have my preference, but I don't think it's going to be a terrible pick if they do pick him, even though I do prefer the offensive lineman.
Love it. Comments, questions, super chats for Joe. Before we get to the next prospect here, I want to shout out Addison, who's the first person on a Football Friday to get 5 channel memberships. Phoenix Maverick, Joseph Quant, Michael Rodriguez, Jake M. Morris, all receiving channel memberships from Addison. Shout out to you, Addie. And everyone wish Addison's father a speedy recovery. He's dealing with, I think, pneumonia, Addison said. So hopefully all's okay there. Addison, want to make sure everyone's aware that the Asmaniac raffle for this week will be Monday on the first show of the day. Super Bowl III, Joe Namath helmet is our top prize. A Curtis Martin signed helmet is our second place prize. A signed Joe Klecko football is our third place prize. And just announced right now, a signed Wayne Corbett football is our fourth place prize. So, Jet fans, the theme is retired Jet numbers. And Robbie Sabo gave me the A-OK with Corbett because, well, technically not retired. No one's worn it since. So we're adding a Wayne Corbett item to the raffle. Gift the membership to be entered in the Asmaniac raffle for your chance to win one of those 4 items you heard me just discuss. With that said, Joe, a question came in from Phantom Green and White, who wants to know, who would be an example of a great inline blocking tight end, and who in the NFL would you compare Tyler Warren to?
Yeah, well, a great inline blocking tight end who people have compared Warren to, which I don't think is necessarily the most fair because I think they're definitely different, is like a Gronkowski is one of the best inline blocking tight ends who is legitimately like an extra offensive lineman. For comparisons, it's hard because like I'm not watching these guys rep by rep, so it's hard to place a finger on. But when you ask that question, it kind of comes into mind like maybe like a Mark Andrews, like a guy who's pretty athletic. He's not necessarily like either different build than like a George Kittle, which is kind of more like the Bowers build, a little bit more athletic in terms of like speed and things like that. But Mark Andrews is a little bit bigger. I would say maybe even a little better in line. And again, I'm not watching Mark Andrews every single rep, so like a Gronk lights. Mark Andrews type guy. Gronkowski was much bigger, I would say stronger, where Warren has more body control and is faster, more acceleration. So definitely different. But yeah, it's really hard. But I mean, Mark Andrews off the top of my head, if I had to put my finger on it.
Love it. All right, let's continue with the Blewitt film review. Everyone, make sure you guys check out Joe's work on jetsxfactor.com. Promo code Asman will get you 99 cents for the first month of your JetX membership. So, Joe, give us a little idea on which prospect we're breaking down next.
Yeah, so we're going to do Mason Graham, which is an interesting conversation, and we can get into it. Out of the prospects that I'm going to break down and that I have broken down, he's probably my favorite. The problem with Graham is I don't think he's necessarily the best fit for the Jets. You're paying Q, $26 million a year or whatever exactly it is to be a 3-tech. He can play nose and one tech or one tech, but it's not his strength. So you're going to obviously play Q at 3-tech. With Mason Graham, I think he's kind of in the same mold. He's not a guy you want as a nose tackle. He's not a guy you want as a 1-tech. He should be a 3-tech. So I just don't see exactly how you fit him. Now there are examples of bare fronts. You have 2 3-techs, but it's not a front you're going to run all the time. You're still going to run like that base 4-3. So you need the 1-tech, you need the 0, and you need the 3-tech, and then you need the 2 5s. So I don't think he's a true 0 or 1. Q is the 3, and he's not necessarily athletic enough to be a true 5. So I just don't see the fit for the Jets with Mason Graham, but I like the player a lot, just in general. So I wouldn't hate the pick. It's just how exactly do they fit him in the defense? So that would be my biggest question. But he's an exciting prospect. So he's right here as a stand-up 4-tech. He's gonna. I believe he beats the guard on this one. I'll let it run through, and then we'll kind of talk about exactly what happens. And obviously just demolishes the guard right there, right? That's like exactly what you want to see. Ball gets out, completed, but he wins this rep with, in 2 seconds, which is what you want. But he's really good with his rushes. Obviously, he's very explosive in short areas. He's explosive off the snap. Here he does a good job of just setting up this guard. He rushes towards the B gap with some shortened strides at the end. He's waiting for this guard to shoot his hands. As the guard shoots the hands, exploding off the left instep, which is just the inside of your foot, the middle inside of your foot, creates the most explosion. Times the punch, double swipe, arm over, and immediately gets to the inside for the hit on the quarterback. So just understanding rush angles, how to shorten his stride, allowing quick change of direction at the end right there. Again, obviously an accurate double swipe, taking both of the hands of the guard out of play. The guard is relying on those hands for balance. He's shooting at Graham, but the way he times it and crosses his face with the instep right there is fantastic. Obviously the guard is quite literally falls to his knees because of how Graham set up that rush. So he definitely has, high end rushing capability. Didn't have the best numbers, and we'll get into some of that in a little bit, and some of the ways I think he's a little bit limited. So this play, he's right here, more of like a loose 3 or 4-eye, just stand up. And I believe there's a blitz off of the left side of your screen right here. So he's going to be forced to penetrate the A gap just by design. Yeah, because you have the D end right here who crashes B gap, you have him who crash A gap, and then they're trying to pull in the tackle and the guard right here for the corner for the cat blitz off the left side right here. So he's going to rush the A gap regardless. It's not like his decision. But the thing I like about it is just like the last play, him setting up that rush. Again, pushing towards that B gap a little bit, getting the guard to set to the outside. You see shortened strides. You see the left foot right there is not really covering any ground because he doesn't want to cover too much ground here, get into the guard's face because it's harder for him to cross his face, right? Like you want that, 2 yards of separation. So good job shortening the stride, or pushing towards that B gap, getting the guard to set to him, timing the punch again, exploding off the opposite instep this time. Now it's off the right foot, double swipe. Now, as he's double swiping, he sees that this running back is going to pick him up as well. Lowers the shoulder right there. Really good adjustment on the fly. Now he's pushing through the middle of the guard and the running back who's trying to pick him up. See some of the strength right here from his shoulders, just separating, creating himself a wider gap, and then rushing towards the quarterback and getting the half a sack. So again, really good job with the feet, really good accurate hands with the double swipe, lowering the shoulder, adjusting in real time, and then just the strength to kind of separate these guys and like shoulder raise them, and then get to the quarterback for the half a sack. So again, really good rushing capability. And then we're going to look at one in the run game really quickly and some of the ways he wins in the run game. I think in the run game, he's definitely better as like a solo, like against solo blocks, against double teams and stuff like that. We'll talk about it. He does get moved more than I like to see for how highly ranked of a prospect he is. And that's why I don't think he's a great fit as a 0-tech, but for this a one-on-one situation, he's definitely really good. And both the tackles right here, or both the defensive tackles, move to their left. So I think it's by design that he moves to the left right here, but he is right here. Obviously completely demolishes the right guard right there and is able to make the tackle for, I don't know if it's a tackle for loss or a stuff, but regardless, he's there quickly. We see the explosion off the snap, right? Him getting lateral, pretty good lateral movement. The good things about this play is, one, hand placement. He lands the right hand into the chest of the guard. We see the explosion off of the snap, and then what he does here is, again, it's important. Nice wide base, working off of the instep, which I talk about all the time. Really, all it is when you're working off your instep, it doesn't allow your knee to bend in a natural way. If he used to work off of his toe, it works in line with your knee, and it's obviously a natural pivot point. So if you're on your toe, it allows your knee to bend easier. Whereas if you're off your instep, it's just harder for your knee to bend. So it's a more powerful position to be in. So again, explosion off the snap, right hand right into the chest, nice tight arm angle. We'll talk about it a little bit with Graham. I'm not sure if you could see me on my screen or on the screen or not, but when your elbows are tight, you're stronger. When your elbows flare out, it's deflecting your force. You're not going to be as strong. So you want a nice tight arm angle. He has it working off the instep. So you have a lot of power coming up and through this leg into his arms. Looking into the backfield, confirming that the ball is handed off. Gets some separation by just extending with his hands inside, working off the instep again, pulls himself through, finds the running back for the tackle. I don't think it's a tackle for loss. It's a run stop in general. But again, obviously a really good play with the explosion, with the hand placement, hopping off that instep, eyes up, finding the running back in the backfield, shedding, pulling himself through, making the tackle. All really good from Mason Graham on that one. Now we'll move into some of the weaknesses that he has for me, or that I noted down. And one of them was in the run game. Specifically against double teams, I do think he gets moved a little bit more than I wanted to see. So we have him right here as a 3 tech. We'll see him get moved quite a bit, and he actually gets involved in the tackle here, but he actually gets a little bit lucky. He kind of gets like slingshotted into the tackle, which helps him maintain his balance. But in general here, he obviously gets moved. So comes off the snap, and he actually lands his right hand seemingly inside. He has pretty good leverage. The problem here is when you have a combo block coming towards you, you really have to anchor down. You have to extend your base. Again, I'm talking a lot about insteps, but a lot of football is insteps. You do not want to get caught with your foot or with your leg shallow here. You really want to extend it another couple of inches, even if not a foot, to just get a lower base. And again, Jay, can you see me on the screen, or can you not see me on the screen?
We see you on the screen right now, Joe.
So when you're coming into a combo block like this, obviously when you're standing straight up, you're allowing a large surface area for this center. I believe it's the center to attack. So when you feel a combo block coming, what you really want to do is you want to get your hands inside. You want a quarter turn, kind of get your thumbs out. It's just called a quarter turn. It activates your scapular muscles in your back. So you want a quarter turn, and then what you want to do is you want to turn your body away from the secondary blocker, just to reduce the area that he's going to contact. Because if he contacts the top of your shoulder, if he contacts your back, it's really not going to make that much of a difference. But if you're allowing him to attack your chest, your shoulder, he's going to create movement. So what I want him to do here is to get that quarter turn, sink, extend the base, and then again just reduce himself, not allowing a lot of surface area for this guy to attack. He doesn't handle this combo well, and again, you quite literally see him get, he's getting tossed right now. He's lucky that he kind of has a tackle to bounce off of and allows him to stay into the rep. Good effort getting back in on the rep, but obviously you don't want to see a D tackle get moved like that. So as a 0 tech, as a 1 tech against NFL talent, against guys who are much stronger, I just don't see him being able to anchor down. Now, obviously with better technique, he would anchor down better than that, but still in general, I just didn't see it as much as I wanted to. In the run game, we'll go 2 quick ones to wrap up Graham, and then we'll get into obviously the plays from Membo, as you can see on my screen. But good rush, but off balance is how I labeled this one. So he is the 2 tech right here, right over top of this guard. This is something I did not expect from him initially. And I know people are just going to say, oh, well, maybe he just slipped there, which is obviously that's a good defense if it was just one play. But I saw this a little bit too much of him where he's off balance, and I think his hips are a little bit tight. So he's good in short areas. He's definitely explosive, but I don't think he's the most loose athlete. And when he tries to get vertical here and flatten out his hips, he loses balance, and obviously he gets chucked off of his spot. But I think he was going to fall down regardless. And it's just because when he's trying to flatten out, he doesn't have the best mobility in his hips. So the beginning of the play is really good. Again, slanting inside, you have two guys slanting inside. You have a blitz through the B gap. So he was going to go A gap all day here. He does a really good job of, again, setting it up, pressing the A gap, double, actually it's a swipe and a club. He clubs the center, but then when he tries to flatten out, he falls down because he doesn't have, again, the loosest hips in the world. And I think that hurts him as a pass rusher. And that's why he definitely cannot be a 5-tech in my opinion. He's just not loose enough. While explosive, he's not loose. So, saw him off balance a little bit more than I liked. And then the last one we'll go to is the bull rush. And I think he has a high capability to be a good bull rusher. He's right here as a loose 5. If you want to call him a 7, fine. But I just call him a loose 5 because there is no tight end to make him a true 7. So that's how I label it, as a loose 5. He's definitely strong and he has pop on contact. One of my biggest problems with him, though, as a bull rusher is he tends to come into the bull rush high. And as we can see right here, when he comes into contact, right, who is lower? It's obviously the guard. He's standing pretty much straight up. What you want to be is you want to be linear. You really kind of want your shin on an angle. Obviously, now your thighs are going to work in an opposite direction. And then you want your upper body to kind of match the angle of your shin, which you don't want it straight up, right? So he's standing straight up, bending a little bit from the waist. He's very high right here for a guy who's not even that tall. His hands land, let's see if they land high. Yeah, this actually even lands inside. The problem is he's not going to create a lot of movement, and his bull rushes end up stalling because he's not able to roll your hips. Again, you want to get into a guy, you want to get nice and linear with a flat back. You want to get the extension. And then, for lack of a better term, I call it tip to tip. But you basically want to try to drive your crotch to his crotch and then extend and lift. But when you come in high, you're not really going to be able to get under him and roll under the block. So he has to come into his bull rushes more linear and lower. So he tends to pop guys back, 2-3 yards, but he's not able to finish because of how high he comes into some bull rushes. Now, obviously, he gets pancaked there because the center comes in to assist. But in general, this was a play that was going to stall out regardless because of how high he is. So that's one of his problems as a rusher as well. So coming into plays high, again, a little bit tight for Graham, but overall good rusher in terms of the explosion, the technique, the angles, setting guys up. Smart player, but there are some issues with the tightness and obviously anchoring down on the run game.
He could be there at 7. There are some scenarios for that, Joe. I do wonder, is there any scenario where he's the pick and somehow Quinnen Williams then is on the trade block? Or could there be, with the right schematic coach here, the scenario where they could definitely play together and play together well?
Yeah, I think it's always gonna be a little bit miscast, right? Because again, you can run bare fronts and you can run some fronts where they could both be 3-techs, but I think you're miscasting either him or Q as a 0 or a 1, and they're gonna have to, one of them's gonna have to play it more often than any other spot. So I just think it's a miscast. I don't like forcing a guy into a spot he's not comfortable in, with the 7th overall pick. So I wouldn't love it if they didn't get rid of Q, and if they did get rid of Q, we're talking about a top 5 D tackle in the league, right? Why are we getting rid of a guy who's an absolute stud, who's a homegrown Jet for a guy who could maybe be, and I don't think he could be Q. Q is much more athletic than Graham. I think Graham has a somewhat limited ceiling because of how tight he is. So I don't think you get rid of a guy who's an absolute stud for a guy who his ceiling couldn't even be what Q is now. So I just don't think it makes a lot of sense for the Jets. So even though he's probably my highest in terms of he's over Warren, he's over Membu on my overall big board. But for the Jets, personally, I'm drafting Membu over him. I'm drafting Campbell over him. And I'm probably even drafting Warren over Graham just because of the lack of a fit in the defense. You
do wonder if he is there at 7, is he a guy that another team would think is too good to pass up and would actually want to move up to go and get?
Oh, well, yeah, I think we all, I can't put words in your mouth, but I'm trade down all day. Obviously need 2 to tango. But I don't think it ends up happening. Now, maybe with Graham, maybe it does happen. And that's, I think, the best case scenario for the Jets in the draft. That I don't think there's much difference between the 5th or 6th player in this draft and the 25th player in this draft. So if you can accumulate more picks to either add players this year or just giving yourself more capital for next year to trade up if you do want to get a quarterback, which they probably will, then I'm in trade down camp all day. So if it's Graham, if it's Sanders, if it's whoever it is, yeah, sign me up.
Love it. Hit the like button if you're just joining us. Joe Blewitt, one of the best film guys out there, covers the Jets and the NFL for JetsXFactor.com. He's with us here breaking down some film on the top prospects that have been linked to the Jets, the pros and the cons. We're not just giving you the good stuff. We'll show you some of the slights, some of the perceived negatives on these guys as well. Before we get to our next top prospect, Bo C in the house. He's the first to gift a 10 spot today. Give it up for our guy, Bo. He's in the raffle for 10.
It's the Asmaniac membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive one ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
Reminder, the epic prize this week is a signed Joe Namath Super Bowl III helmet, baby. A signed Curtis Martin helmet, a signed Joe Klecko football, and we added it today, a signed Wayne Corbett football. Your top prizes in this week's Asmaniac raffle. The following 10 listeners are now channel members. OG Jet fan, Matthew Smith, Alan Smells, Derek the Cop, Connor Long, Yainir Rivera, Nicholas Carnavali, main event ace, Joseph Landis, Sherry French, all receiving channel memberships from the incomparable Bo C. All right, Joe, we're going to get back to the film review right now. I believe, as I look at your screen here, it looks like we're doing a little Armin Membu. Is that right?
Yeah, correct. A guy who, like, it's weird, the narrative with him, because everybody's saying he's just a combine warrior, and that's why he is where he is. But if you look at mock drafts in like January, certain people had him in the top 10, top 20. So I think there was a question that, okay, maybe he was a guard at first. That's what people thought. But I think the combine maybe cemented him as a tackle, but he was never a guy who was like a second or a third round pick. He was kind of always in the top, 20-ish of players. So I think the narrative that, he's only here because of the combine is bogus. And getting into the film, I saw the upside. I'm not just going to be like, this guy's good in the combine, but his film sucks, so I want him at 7. I thought the film was relatively good as well. He's probably not as pro ready as Campbell is right now, but in terms of the upside, I'm taking him, and even in pass pro, I'm taking him over Campbell. But I think Campbell's probably more well-rounded and a better like day one starter. But you worry about obviously the arm length and the wingspan, because they have almost similar arm length, but I think his wingspan is like 4 or 5 inches bigger than Campbell. So that's something you factor in as well. But I'm right here. He's obviously going to be the right tackle, so you don't have to worry about him really switching over to the left side. He's just going to be, he's comfortable at the right side. So watch him right here against his edge rusher. One of the things that he definitely does do well is obviously in pass protection. Patient feet, patient hands on this play. He does a really good job of not oversetting. So you really, when you're getting into a pass set, what you want is your outside foot splitting the crotch of the defensive end. When you start to get squared up, you're really inviting them to the inside. Again, invite them to win outside. It's not going to be as disruptive to the play. So he does a good job of not oversetting here, getting into his kick slide, not oversetting his feet, running the feet. And then what I like from him here as well is the fact that he has patient hands. So initially, his hands are on guard. They're ready for the punch. He sees the punch coming from the defensive end and just pulls his hand back very, very slightly to avoid the chop, which isn't, the number 5 doesn't have the best chop right there, but pulls himself away from it. Now he feels, okay, the bull rush is coming. Again, nice tight arm angle, sinks his hips. And this is what we're talking about with like having having a flat back. Like he's not bending from the waist right here. He's nice and linear with a with a flatter back. Again, feels the bull rush coming. And as he feels that bull rush coming, again, he lowers himself, gets the hand on, sinks into his anchor off of the, specifically the right instep right there, holds this guy up. And then at the end right here, obviously torques him into the ground with a lot of core power from him and just plants him onto his back, which we love. So patient feet, not oversetting, patient hands, the landing of the hands, hopping into the anchor, the torque to throw him on the ground. A plus rep from Membu right there. We'll go to 11. The 11th play of the review. Again, I put up a 40 something play review of him, so we go through all this stuff. But he's right here as a right tackle, cuff technique, drive hip. So he's against number 4 on a play action. Got another play where he's torquing a guy to the ground at the end. I'm sorry for the lag at the end, but He's really good in terms of like knowing when to straight punch guys and knowing when to like hug technique them. You don't want to hug technique, which is just like you're basically hugging their shoulders. You don't want to do that if a guy's going to bull rush you because they have a lot of momentum. They control your chest. You're going to get walked back to the quarterback. If a guy is not working like straight angles into you, he's working like either inside or outside more horizontally. You can hug a guy because you just want to get control of them. A lot of their power is not being like generated through you. So sets towards him. I think his idea initially, you can see his hand come out, is to, okay, I'm going to punch him in the chest, but realizes that, hey, this guy's working more laterally, so I don't have to do that. I'm just going to get both of my hands onto the shoulders. The defensive end's hands land onto Membu first, and he feels that. So what he does is he cuff techniques, just drops both of his hands down onto the arms. He with that, the left hand of the defensive end comes off of him. The right hand doesn't land cleanly, but it's not necessarily the point of it. You're not always going to win as cleanly as you want. So good idea to hug technique him right there at first, and then cuff him. Swipes the hand down. Now the rusher is okay at this point. I'm not going to beat him inside. I gotta rush him to the outside. And then Membu does a really good job of what we call wrenching. So a wrench technique is when a guy is going to try to pass you like this. You're going to put your hand into his chest. You're going to put your hand into the lower of his back. And obviously he's rushing forward, so he's going to be leaning. You're basically just straightening out their body and making them stand straight up. So it's a really good rep in terms of defeating the hands and then wrenching him, allowing him to rush up the arc, but again, wrenching him and throwing him on his back like that. So
I love that term. I've never heard that before. Wrenching him.
Yeah, wrench. So you have a bunch of different like techniques. You can either drive the hip and just push them vertical. But when you see a guy do that, when you're gonna get the hand onto the chest and the hand on to the small of the back, and you just push your hands both opposite, you're standing him straight up. He's gonna be off balance. He doesn't have a lot of forward momentum. So that's what we call a wrench technique. And then a cuff is when you have a guy like when both of his hands are into your chest. You're going to get your hands higher than his and typically just drop the elbows, and it's going to defeat the arms of that defensive end. So next play we got, let's see, 33. Drive to turf watch flag. I don't know what he has against Oklahoma, but this is the most aggressive I saw him be all season, just demolishing guys in the run game. Hot and cold in the run game, though. A lot of power. The technique is spotty, but he definitely has the capability in the run game. He has the power, and again, he flashes good technique, and obviously just completely burying that guy. Talking to him a little bit after the rep. We love the aggressiveness there, but it's a good job of playing inside out here. Again, you have a tight, inside tight zone going inside of Membu. So what he does not want to do, he doesn't want to get too flat right here and allow this guy to cross his face. So he does a good job of inviting this guy to the outside. Nice tight straight punch into him. We don't want to see hands scooping. We want to see tight punches, linear. Gets his hand into the chest, nice tight elbow angle. Again, initially working off of the insteps, like I said before, a lot of his power is generated from the inside of his feet. Drives this dude, continues to work the hands, and obviously, buries them. Now, be a little bit careful with driving him too far after the whistle. I can't hear the whistle, but something you got to be careful about. But again, seeing some capability in the run game, and then with this play right here, the last of the positive for him, drive to turf. Again, the right tackle, right? We could all find him. Let's watch it. Again, good technique with where he lands his hands and the aggression, the torque at the end right there to bury this guy. But good job of taking his zone step, not necessarily crossing over his feet, smaller steps. We don't want big steps in the run game, specifically when guys are right over us, because, big steps don't allow for change of direction quickly. So smaller steps, zone step, good job. Right hand into the chest, more of a straight angle from the chest is exactly what we want. Lands into the chest. Left hand probably lands onto the shoulder. Stay attached, drive this dude, torque him at the end, and nice little pancake from Membu right there. You can see the ref at this point. It's like, dude, you gotta chill a little bit. But I love the aggression. You could coach the aggressiveness out of a guy. I don't think you could teach a guy to be aggressive. So I love that from Membu. Now, in terms of some of the negatives of Membu, things I think are all coachable. He's very good as a pass protector. The one weakness he has is his hands they can land high. When they land high, again, you're not really covering a lot of surface area. Like you want to land outside typically with that outside hand. When you land into the shoulder, it's very easy for your hand to just rub over the top or just not have really good like area to like stop him basically. So Sets right here. Again, hand lands high. We can see it land over the shoulder. Not ideal, right? You're not creating any pop. Now this guy's working into you with full momentum. Another thing that he tends to do at times is he's a little bit high. So your here's not really a lot of knee bend. Hand is high. He gets bull rushed. The quarterback scrambles out, but he allows a pressure, right? So he has to be a little more consistent with his bend in the knees, with the hand not getting over the shoulder. And then something I talked about in the review is him staying attached to the ground. There's too many times where he kind of is punching with a foot not on the ground, which is not going to be as powerful. But again, these are all things that are coachable. Run through the last three. Splashed. So he's right here as the right tackle again versus the 5 tech. Shed in the run game, right? Pretty badly there. So just like with Warren on this play, we see the hands wide. We don't want the hands wide in the run game because you're not generating a lot of force. So steps inside with the zone steps. They're running tight zone. Both his hands land wide. Now that defensive end has control of the chest, is able to easily shed him because of that. There's really not much else you need to break down on that play. Hands wide means no control. So defensive ends, first level, you don't want it. Second level, control the guy's shoulders. Linebacker who you're outweighing by 100 pounds. Yeah, that's fine. First level, we cannot have it. So 2 more plays left. Bad run. Again, this is where a lot of the negatives come for Membu is in the run game. So the right tackle here again. Okay, we could see that right off the jump, right? So shuffles inside. They're running what looks like it's like a lead duo. And Membu, again, just can't let this guy cross his face. So I like to step inside. The problem comes here when he's coming into contact, bending from the waist, right, ducking the head, and his hands are wide. This is not an ideal spot to be in. This is pretty terrible technique in terms of reaching for that contact. The hand scoops from his knee, not tight like it was before. Hands wide, not balanced at all into that. Gets shed easily. Obviously, lets this guy get into the inside. He doesn't make the tackle, but still, the point is he got shed terribly there. So got to clean that up. And then last one is just some combo blocks. You need to be a little bit cleaner. This is something that I've built like a lot of evidence on. Is you want like 3 steps on combos. If you start chasing 4 or 5 steps into the first level of a combo block, you're not going to be ready for the first level. So he's in a combo block with the guard right here. Again, you really want 3 steps because you end up chasing if it's more than that. So we're going to see him take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he's blocking to what we call on a combo block to the thick backer, the backside backer right here for him. So he's blocking to the thick backer. Again, you want to take 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. No reason to chase. This guy is slanting to the inside. Don't need to chase that block. Get to the second level. He oversteps it. That guy gets over the top and is now in on the tackle. So little things he's got to clean up in the run game. But overall, I like the upside of the prospects. So there are the 21 plays.
Is he much better as a pass blocker versus a run blocker overall?
Yeah.
Like what would be the grade as a pass blocker versus run blocker?
Yeah, I think that pass blocking is like a B plus, A minus probably if I had to put like a grade on it. The run blocking is like a C minus, D plus, but he has the capability. Again, there are plays I showed you where like he has the ability, the straight arm punches, driving off the instep, all that stuff. But then there's a lot of inconsistency there. In the run game. So I think it's something that he definitely improve on and be a good run blocker at the NFL level because he shows flashes of it. And he also has a strength. Like his raw power is pretty ridiculous at times. So it's something he can improve on. But the pass blocking right now is pretty damn solid, minus the fact that again, sometimes he doesn't play attached to the ground. Sometimes his hand's a little bit high. But in general, it's very good. So he has very, very high upside.
We know the Jets want to run the crap out of the ball this year, so I do wonder if that plays a part in their evaluation on like, hey, like this guy, we know he's getting pass protection right away, but he's not as good in the run blocking game. Like, does that impact their thought, or do they look at it like, hey, he's such a good talent, we'll coach him up, we'll get him better there?
Yeah. I think it's a thing where you take him and he has the capability to do so. So like you acknowledge that in year 1 he may not be the best at it, but he has the capability to be a good run blocker. So it's not a thing where I watch him and it's like, oh, he lacks power, he lacks aggressiveness, he's never going to be good there. It's like when I watched Evan Neal, I was like, this guy is just brutally bad. I don't understand him as a top pick at all. He didn't have the capability in the run game, but Membu has it. So it's not I think if the coaching staff has confidence in themselves, they take Membu.
different players, obviously different classes, but if Olu Fashanu was in this draft class, is he clearly the top tackle over Membo or Campbell?
Yeah, I would say so. And I would say like Olu versus Membu. Olu was probably a little bit more refined in pass pro. Fashanu was worse, or Fashanu was worse in the run game than Membu was. So I think you have a little bit higher upside from Membu in year one as a run blocker. And I think that he's an overall better prospect in terms of like the athleticism. So I think Fashanu is more clean. Membu's ceiling is higher than Fashanu.
Love it. All right. Comments, questions, super chats for Joe Blewitt. We're going to get to our next prospect. And I'm fascinated by Will Campbell because we hear about the arm length, Joe. We hear about whether or not he is capable of being a tackle or a guard. And then, like, if New England thinks he's a guard, why wouldn't they just take Armand Membu as well? So, like, that's the question I have when you were, like, breaking it down on film, like what you saw there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you want, I didn't prep anything for Campbell, but if you want me to do Campbell, I could try to pull it.
Can you just show one play on Campbell? I didn't realize that you didn't have Campbell.
I have him. It's just something like you saw. Like I had like some of the plays ready, but in terms of, I could try to just show like a bad one. I'm just kind of picking from random plays here. Hit aloud. I'll just try to show like a random. Let's see. Cool. I don't know exactly how bad this is, or if this is the best example of him oversetting or anything like that. No, it's really not, because it's not something that it's going to be a little bit tough on open early. Okay. So it's something that he does is overset and open his hips up a little bit early. So that's one of his major problems, is getting beat to the inside like that. And maybe that's why some people think that he's just going to play guard, but it's something that's coachable. But again, with him, it's something where you do not want to start to get squared up with a guy, and you want to anticipate angles. And he tends to just drift a little bit too far outside, and he really invites guys to the inside. So a lot of guys will like short shred him to the outside, anticipate him oversetting, and then just cross his face. And he's in a tough spot right here. Gives up a hit. So that's probably one of his biggest problems in pass pro. He has the capability to be a good pass protector because he has athleticism, he has power, he has aggression.
Is he a guard or a tackle to you? You don't have to go through the whole thing now, but you watch so much film on him. What do you think he more is?
Yeah, so for me personally, I think he's a guy you try at tackle first, and then you move him into guard. I don't think he's just locked as a guard. But you look at the measurables from the wingspan and the arm length, it's a thing where he's in if he works out as a tackle, he's in a very small category of players who have worked out with his measurables. So it's probably, he's working from behind in terms of his body makeup as a tackle, but I didn't watch him on film, and I'm like, hey, sorry for the dog barking. Somebody just came into my house. But it's a thing where he has a capability to do it. I don't think it's like, oh, he lacks athleticism, he can't match guys on the outside or anything like that. But with him in the run game, I think he's very good. Pass game, he's overall decent at it. He just has a tendency to really, really overset guys and let guys into his chest, because one of the other things he does is he tends to like hug and punch his hands wide. So he gets his chest controlled a lot and he oversets. So he's not as well rounded in the pass game as I want, but in the run game, he's very, very good. Patience to the second level, just the angles he takes, a lot of the things he does in the run game, I like. So if I was the Pats, I understand them drafting him over Membu because they have a lot of holes in the offensive line. So if he doesn't work out as a tackle, fine, put him at guard, like that's fine. But in general, I think you could try him at a tackle first. I'd rather take the higher upside swing with Membu.
All right, so here's my question to you, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Your dream scenario at 7, if the Jets can trade back, because we're aligned in the, hey, move back if you can, get more picks. What would be your dream scenario, realistic scenario, of course, too, for the Jets at number 7?
Yeah, I was glad you threw in the realistics. Like, obviously, Abdul Carter falls or something like that. Minus the trade down, I think that's the next best scenario. But I guess it's Membu. It's just this, like, being transparent. I don't want to kind of give people like a negative feeling about the draft, but this is, since I've been like really watching film of these draft prospects, this is easily the worst I've seen in 8, 9, 10 years of really evaluating these guys. Like I said, I don't think there's a large difference between like the 6th prospect in the draft and then the 25th. So I'm definitely lukewarm on the top of this draft, but I guess it's Membu. Being, living in the world of realism, you finish the offensive line. Hopefully you keep these guys around together for quite a few years. You build around Justin Fields, giving him the protection that I don't think he had with the Bears or with the Steelers. So, yeah, I'm going to go with offensive tackle. It's just a thing where I think in the second round you can get a better tight end than you can get a tackle. In the draft, you tend to see obviously quarterbacks, DNs, tackles are like the first off the board, obviously with quarterback and with receiver close to follow. But a lot of the talented tackles, the successful tackles in the league, you're seeing as first round picks where you could get a guy in the second round. Like look at who just got paid. Trey McBride was a second round pick, right? He just got paid. He's from the second round. And everything I hear from this draft from people I trust is there are quite a few talented tight ends in the second and third rounds. So I'd rather get the tackle in the first round and then move on to the second round and pick up a guy there.
Comments, questions, super chats for Joe. You're getting a ton of great feedback in the chat, Joe, so can't thank you enough for coming on. Purple Belt Mike wrote in, very impressed by Joe. Outstanding analysis here. Thoughts on the best wide receiver in the mid rounds that potentially could be a diamond in the rough like Amon Ron St. Brown, of course, with a 4th round pick, and Aaron Glenn was in Detroit when that selection was made.
Yeah, I'll be completely transparent here, Purple Belt Mike. It's a thing where with a full-time job, with a kid and with a move, I can't watch guys in the mid-round. Like that's I know you have Dom C on here sometimes. It's like a Dom C question. If I were to give you an option right now, I'd be lying. It's like I think a lot of people with the draft, I'm not saying I think people tend to do mock drafts and then they see people available in their mock drafts at certain picks, like, oh, this guy is great. So I really don't know mid-round diamond in the rough receivers. I'll just be transparent.
I love it. Appreciate the honesty. Ralphie checks in. Does a true left tackle like Banks move up because of the size and the premium position he plays, even though more of a project than Campbell or Memu?
Yeah, some of the stuff I've seen from Banks is that he's more, people anticipate him being a guard even more than Campbell at the next level. So he's a guy I've watched a little bit, and I anticipate him being even more so of locked in as a guard than Campbell. So I guess he played left tackle, but I don't think he's necessarily locked in to be a tackle. And I said it before in the reviews, like left tackle versus right tackle, like you prefer to have a better left, like if you had to choose, gun to your head, be better at left tackle or right tackle. Yeah, it's left tackle, but I think people way overplay the difference in positional importance from right tackle to left tackle. So they're both premium positions. It's not something where like left tackle is a premium position and right tackle is not. Give me a good right tackle. It's fine. There's like a slight difference in the difference in importance to me.
Love it. Joe, this was a blast, man. Thank you so much for coming on. Great job. Great breakdowns. And remind people again where they could find you.
Yeah, Joe. So obviously Jets X Factor. We flood your channel, so you know where I'm at in terms of the Jets X Factor stuff. The only place they don't really know about is Twitter, Joe RB31. I put up more of the positive of players, but I'll interact with people as long as you be cordial and ask like questions and stuff. It's just not a waste of time. I'm not going to waste my time with like, oh, this guy sucks. It's like, okay, that's not an argument. Joe RB31 on Twitter, and then maybe after the draft, I'll get some breakdowns of the guys we draft, and I'll see you in a few months.
I love it. And Joe, if you want to come to the draft party, you let me know. We'd love to have you there.
Yeah, like I said, I know we talked about it a little bit before. It's something I'm actually going to consider. If I can get there, then I'll be there and have the reactions in real time to the draft. So I'd love to meet some of you guys, like Purple Belt Mike. I don't know if I know him. I know Bonesy. Bonesy's a legit dude, so I'm happy he won the tournament because I know he's a legitimately good dude. So congrats to Bonesy again.
Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Joe Blewitt. Joe, you're the man. Good luck with everything going on in your life, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate the invite. I'll talk to you soon, Jake.
Joe Blewitt, check it in. Really, really good insight from Joe, so appreciate him coming on the show. If you have a question, Jet-related, NFL-related, Asmaniac Madness-related, write it in the chat. Of course, your super chats will go first. Congrats again to our guy, Mr. Bonesy. He's a world champion, baby. The first ever Asmaniac Madness champ. And it's funny because Bonesy, OG viewer of the show, he was messaging me before the battle. He thought King Lowski was going to crush him. And I said, no, man, you got a great chance. You're beloved. Both of you guys are. And it truly was a 50-50 battle to the bitter end. And I could say this. We couldn't have had two better people in our championship round than the two we had. King Lowski and Mr. Bonesy. Bonesy, I mean, I went to the Jet Raider game with him in Vegas. I had the extra ticket. I took Bonesy when Neil won the bet, for those of you who've been with the show a long time, to win enough money to basically get flights and everything paid for Bonesy to come to Vegas with us. So congrats to the champ, who will be at the draft party. Come meet Mr. Bonesy. He'll sign autographs. He'll shake hands. He'll kiss babies. He'll do what it needs to be done. Blitz Got Beats writes in, what do we got to talk about now? That's a great question. We'll really dive into more of these prospects. We'll bring in the likes of a Joe Blewitt and a Dom C. And Fialco, I know, is doing some film stuff. And you know the Jets. They always find a way to do something. So there'll be something. Who knows? We'll also keep our tabs on what's happening in front of the Jets, because obviously the top of the draft directly impacts the Jets' options at 7. Like, I think Abdul Carter now. I think he's going to the New York Giants. And I think that Travis Hunter is going to end up going to the Cleveland Browns. So could Shador actually be there at 7? And could the Jets trade back? Would they consider taking him? I don't think they would, but we can't rule it out. Allen being on the wrong side of history, perhaps. He says if Ashton Genty falls to 7, you take the elite talent. So you want to take a running back at 7. Bold. G-Man the Prophet says, good morning, Jake. How about putting together a softball charity game together with Asmaniacs in July on the downtime we have? That's a good idea, G-Man. I like that. Right now, my next project after the draft is a baseball game outing for Asmaniacs. So stay tuned for info on that. Papa Jet in the raffle for 5. Jake, is Mr. Bonesy going to Disney World? I'll tell you what, he certainly has enough young kids that would love that. Bonesy, call in and say, I'm going to Disney World. 5 raffle entries for Papa Jet. Appreciate all of you. For those tuning in late, if you're a Badlands listener and you're going to their live event tonight, I'll be appearing there with Joe, Connor, Will, the whole team over there. And my segment with them is around 8:30, so I'm looking forward to that. Alan says, Genty's a star. You take the star. Sorry you don't understand that. He's a running back, Alan. He's a running back. Jets have 3 running backs. They drafted 2 last year. They still have Breece Hall. Why am I taking a running back at 7 when I have so many other holes that this new regime has entered the draft with? No, thank you. Jets Johnny says takes like that are why Allen got bounced in the first round. No, I mean, look, I don't fundamentally believe in taking a running back that high unless like you were a running back away, and you're not. You actually have a really good running back. All right, open phone lines if you want in on the conversation. Right now, only one person is on hold. Quick plug, Huga House. They have a deal running right now. All their hats, buy 2, get the 3rd free. Promo code Asman, and you'll save even on that. So take full advantage of the special, HugaHouse.com. Get yourself one of their new performance line hats like the one that I'm wearing here. HugaHouse.com, promo code Asman at checkout. Ladies and gentlemen, I mentioned there's only one person on the line. So if you're upset about this, you could do something about it. You could call in. But right now, we head to the lair.
Right now, we're getting some gabagool. If you really want some gabagool, you got to come get the gabagool. Catch you later.
Buenos dias, Jake. How are you?
Hello, Beast.
I've seen a lot of these guys saying trade Breece. To all the non-Jet morons on here, sorry, we're not trading Breece. If you all hate Breece, then you're not a Jet fan because, number 1, your qualifications are weak. Number 2, your qualities are below subpar. And number 3, your ideas are basic dog turd. It's not quality. You're not up to standards. So as I'm about to tell you, in college term, you have an incomplete paper. You need to go back and redo it. And all these videos I'm seeing with the guys that the one guy we were watching here, very good points. I like this kid's points. I like where he stands on certain things. I think what's going to happen is I think we're going to get Warren. We're going to get Membu. And what we need to do is learn to slow it down and start hitting like we used to do. I mean, I watched the 98 Jets when I was 13, and these guys were machines. They were knocking people right in the teeth and blasting them in the face. And yes, I did, Mr. Kuka. I did go to college, went to Columbia 2 years, and also have a bachelor's degree under radio and television. I did my job. So if you don't like what you see, I'm about to tell you this. Change the channel, moron. If you don't want to be here, change the channel.
Yeah.
Not difficult.
What did you learn at Columbia, Beast?
I took radio and I took television. My first idea was to do radio because I learned from the great Don Imus, and Don Imus was one of my favorites. He was not that bad. Sure, he was a little bit of a cowboy, but he did make some great points and and some good efforts. I can't take nothing away from the great Don Imus. And
hey, Beast, what is it like to be an Ivy League educated man?
Well, you gotta keep your head up. You can't just do what you want. You gotta go out there and you at least try. You can't just sit on your ass and do it. You gotta get off and do it. Not this difficult. It's not rocket science, people. No, I do not like coffee. Coffee is not my type. I like a hot tea with a little cream and sugar in mine. That actually gets me up, keeps me up during the day. So let me just say this too. I think we're gonna be just fine. I think we all need to do is 3 things: calm down, pay attention, and listen. Learn wisely, because someone once said a wise man needs to learn to be educated up here. Common sense is the key. If you don't have common sense, then what are you going to do in the next 10 years? What are you going to do? Mr. Allen, are you implying about Don Imus? Because your ideas lately have been very garbagey, very trashy. You're not basically qualified. Mr. Tom Ace, I don't chose poorly, my friend. I'm like Indiana Jones. I choose wisely. I'm a smart man with a smart, intelligent mind. 3.2 GPA, IQ 140. And let me just also tell you something, too. Joel Gardner, a friend of mine from New York, has the same IQ like I do. We both share the same IQ of 140. So if you don't like it, here, see the flicker? Change the channel.
Hey,
Not
Beast.
difficult.
What are you up to this weekend?
Peter said, I'm a genius. Wow. Mr. Castro, you just got my attention. You basically are welcome to the mob now. Shake my hand. Welcome. You're welcome to the mob.
Hey, Mike D's Nuts says that all you do is sit on your ass. Is that true?
Hey. Mike D's Nuts. I'm going to tell you something, crybaby boy. You need to take a walk and fly a kite. Go fly a kite. If you don't, do that. I'm doing my thing. You do your thing. Now take a walk. In the words of the great Biff Tannen, I'm going to say it like he once said, why don't you make like a tree, get out of here. Oh, Pat McAfee. Excuse me, little boy. I do got a life. I keep my ass in gear. At least I got a shaved chest. And you know what? I don't care what people think of me. You know what? Just because I shave my chest and clean my teeth and shave my pits, at least I'm a man. If you don't like it, change the goddamn channel. You can Beast, do that. Not hard.
Repeat after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
I'm a man. And if you don't want to be a man, go put your little yellow panties on and go in the ring and be a little turkey, because you're not worth my effort. And Jimbo, I'm not a broken record boy. I got something like this. See, I eat my vegetables, thank you very much, and I take my vitamins. And to Gary, poultry, meat, vegetables, and fruits are the best thing for you. Vitamins A, B, C, D are all in good health. You need to have that in your system. Why do you think I look like this? Because I'm stronger and I'm smarter and I'm educated. If you're not educated, then you know what? You don't have an education. Your education is weak. Mine is strong.
Give us a little, little Justin Fields. Not Garrett Wilson, but like Justin Fields dropping back. You're a quarterback now. You're scrambling. All right?
3 on the line. 3 on the line. Pick it up. Blue. Blue. 53. Blue. 53. Set. Go. Hey. Yeah, baby. Take it to the
That's an Ivy League educated man, damn it. Hell yeah. Gator writes in, Beast has the guts to lay it all out there and give it his all. He's an iconic legend in the world of attic bed diving. Hell yeah. Well said. Love it. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Your thoughts on the film review we just did with Joe Blewitt. Which prospect intrigued you? Your thoughts on how it all works out. Your thoughts on which prospect you're the most comfortable with the Jets taking at 7. Because I agree with Joe. I've said it. I would prefer to trade back. I just don't know how realistic that is. Tom Ace writes in, we need to delve deeper into Beast's 140 IQ. M. Morris says our education system is broken. Is it? Daz wants to know, was that a quarterback sneak? Was it? It looked like it was maybe just a drop back, and then, Fields just kind of took off and just tried to make a play. Game was on the line, got to score. Nate writes in, I think I did see a bench dedicated to Beast on Columbia's campus. The bench was broken. Beast, did you get it? Beast, did you get a bench dedicated to you at Columbia?
Columbia College had radio. We had television. We had also had musical arts. We didn't have a sports system. Mr. Nate, do you know anything? I don't think you do. I'm going to tell you again. We only have radio. We have communications. We also have art. We have music. We didn't have a sports program, you butthead. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. Since you just pissed me off, I'm going to send you a one-way ticket to Stupid Town. Stupid, 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 stupid town. See you later, alligator. Bye, douchebag. Oh, what an idiot. Oh, God, that guy's an idiot.
Nate's on his way to Columbia to ask the folks about you.
Dude, Columbia's here in Chicago, you moron. You're in New York, you dummy. What part of Stuck on Stupid do you read? Are you blind or are you senile?
Wait a second. There's a Columbia in Chicago?
Yes, downtown. I know where it's at. It ain't that far. Here, Nate, you see something like this? Get one of these once in a while. Clean them out. Clean out your damn ears, you big dummy. What a putz.
Is it Columbia Community College of Chicago?
Thank you, Mr. Tom Ace. You just nailed it right on the head. It didn't take a dummy to figure that out. I mean, Jesus H. Christ. Holy cow. Boy, I've seen some dummies in my life, but they come and go. And Bill, I'm not a moron. I'm more smarter than you. And at least I can pull my pants up, look good, be good, and actually act good. So if you don't like it, take a walk, Buster. And no, I didn't go to some whatever college this Goomba was talking about. What a bunch of Goombas. Thank you, Mr. Tom Ace. You just basically passed my test. IQ of 160. Kid, you can't get any higher than 140 unless if you're very intelligent like Forrest Gump. And you know who I mean by Forrest Gump. I don't know who's smarter, you or Forrest Gump, but I think Forrest Gump is great.
Nate would like to apologize to you, Beast.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'm only going to let you off the hook once. Try me again, and you know what's going to happen next. I'm going to break you. And I mean I'm going to break you. Enough is enough. I got a lot of things that I like. People in this world.
Curtis Martin went to NYU in Mexico, Beast. What do you think?
NYU in Mexico. Are you serious? Colleges are not in Mexico. We have most of them here in the USA. I'm not talking about 7-Eleven. Please go back to kindergarten and do that. Thank you. Wait, you got? Yes, I do, Mr. PBL. I took that for 2 years. I have a bachelor's degree, and I'm very, very I've learned a lot from the greats. Take an example. I've
Beast,
watched.
wouldn't it be an associate degree if it's only 2 years?
Well, bachelor's I took because I learned from watching a lot of the shows growing up as a kid, from the great Mr. Ed to even, oh my God, Father Knows Best. Even,
But I don't think you can have a bachelor's degree unless
well,
you completed
I also
4.
wrote a lot of quotes down too. I took some cues and learned a lot of different things. But it's just I don't remember as much because with the way everything has been the last 5-6 years, because I've been on a roller coaster and I hate roller coasters. Now, I mean, I used to love them when I was a kid, but I don't have the stomach to hold it like I used to because I don't.
What does
want
a
to
roller coaster have to do with a 4-year bachelor's degree?
Well, it has a lot to do because look what I've gone through in the last several years. I've screamed, I've yelled, I fought against assholes against COVID. I've taken on idiots with low IQs. I've tried to work with people. I've done everything I've wanted to do, but lately everything has become a nightmare. And Mr. Daz, you've been going against me all day. I'm getting tired of you. You fat this, fat that. Hey, shut the hell up, you dirty, egg-sucking, low-life puke steak.
Beast. Take it easy, man. Calm down. Calm down.
I'm kind of like Rex Ryan right now, waiting to explode. And you know what? I wouldn't mind hearing some sexy Rexy right now just to cool off. I need to cool off.
You need to cool off?
Yeah, put sexy Rexy on.
All right, stand by. Let me see if I have it for you, Beast. All right, we're going to get you to cool off, all right? Get you to cool off. Hang in there, all right? Hang in there, Beast. Take a breath, all right? Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out.
Sexy Rexy. I'm calm now. I'm just gonna try and have a relaxing day. As a matter of fact, I gotta get ready because in about 1 hour.
Oh, yeah. You know what time it is. You tried to throw him away, but this man's coming back. Sometimes he's fat or thin. That waistband makes him slim. He's got the fix you need. They call him sexy Rexy.
Fuck Gooden, he's no jet. I'm here to crack some skulls. I'll turn these boys to men. This team is stacked with pros. Hire me, you won't break your purse. I'm here to break the curse. They call me sexy Rexy. Fuck all you naysayers.
Ooh, sexy. Ooh, he's sexy Rexy. Sexy. Ooh, he's sexy Rexy. Sexy. He's sexy Rexy. Sexy. He's sexy Rexy.
Now that is a video I like. That one is actually really, really good. But you know what Gator should do next? He should put the best of volume 1 of everybody on this page. The best videos of the year. And I think the best ones of the year, coming in at number 1, the big fella, baby. Ooh, yeah. Big fella's number 1 for one reason. He's big, he's tall, he looks hungry, and he can sure ram you up like a bowling ball and throw you right on down to the lane for the 10 pin.
Hey, man. Hey.
See, I can hear you, amigo.
Oh, okay. I saw you were upset, man. I'm hoping you're all right.
I have to put these bastards in check. They gotta learn from the best. See, if they can't learn, then they're not qualified. It's like
Listen,
if you don't have achievement, then what are you gonna
listen,
do?
what do we talk about? You got to be positive. You got to calm down. Remember?
Yeah, I know. I'm just.
Look at all the. Listen, look at all the progress you made, dude.
Yes, I have. I know that.
You made a lot of progress. You gotta chill out, take a breath, and everything will be all right.
Well, I do got something for later on, and I did get me something called one of these good old-fashioned Asiago bagel action.
And also, I've been meaning to tell you, you can't be eating all those cold cuts, man, because if you have kidney stones, it's going to make it worse.
Well, I found that out too. I'm not eating so much the cold cuts. I've just actually been doing I got myself a couple things of water downstairs, some good old-fashioned Ice Mountain, and also been watching my steps because on my telephone I have that little thing called take my steps and see how much
Odometer?
water I'm drinking. Yes, one of those.
Okay.
I watch very clearly because I don't want to screw up where if you screw this up, I'll be shitting upstream without a paddle. That's pretty dangerous. But I'm
I
only trying. I'm trying to be nice on the show, but it's just some of these
Listen,
people on here. It's like I'm fighting.
it's all for fun. It's all for fun. Listen, you gotta take it easy. Your blood pressure can't get too high. You already got kidney stones. Chill out, and you'll be fine.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm trying my
All right,
best.
man.
It's just
I just called in because I wanted to make sure you were doing all right because you looked really upset. So
half these people need to stop saying trade Brees. I am not trading. I'm not gonna do it because that would be the dumbest thing in the entire world. Why the hell would you get rid of Brees for a 7th-round draft pick? That's a kick in the nuts. To me, that's a slap in the face to me.
they're not, dude. They're not. Listen, they're not. You got to stop paying attention to the chat the whole time and just do your thing. All right. Be positive and have a good day, man. I gotta go. I'll talk to you later.
All right, as they say in California.
All right. Bye-bye.
Surf up, player. And as for me, I'm about to go do what I gotta go do. I gotta start hitting the showers because in 1 hour I'm heading to Menards and I'm gonna go stop at Food Plus. And I'm gonna say this one more time. Don't ever get under my skin. I may have feelings, I may have power, but when it comes to getting things done, I get the job done.
Judge Johnny, Mike D's nuts, and that Rick clown. You little dirtbags. You bunch of asshole chicken shit. You want to play fire with fire? You stepping on my world. I'm the pimp and you're my hose. You piss me off, now you're paying for it. You ain't got the dick to go distance with me. You're nothing but weak. Little girls with your little credit cards think you're so funny you can send me to the hole. Well, your days are numbered and Armageddon is coming for all 3 of you. You don't know when it's coming and you don't know where it's gonna come from. Get ready.
Thank you, Beast. Tremendous job out of you. The pride of Columbia Community College in Chicago. Ladies and gentlemen, our champ is on the line. Mr. Bonesy is here for the first time since he a world champion. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
The only thing better than all them shoes is Joey D, cause he totally rules. Jake, my brother, I'm high as a kite. I love everybody. Damn, this show is crazy.
Bonesy.
Jake, my brother, man. I woke up doing the moonwalk today. I was like, okay.
The champ is here.
I just want to say one thing for my wife at home. Hey, yo, Adrian! I did it! For all my Rocky fans out there, they know what's up.
I love it. Let's go. The fact that you got the Sauce jersey too is amazing. That you picked yourself in the pool. So I'm bringing you a trophy and a Sauce jersey, and you get free entry into the draft party. No one's living life better than Mr. Bonesy.
Dude, I when I was doing the brackets, I did pretty good, and picking other people too. But I was just like, why not? I'm just gonna put myself in there just in case I go on a run and get hot. This is a tournament, and just had to get hot. And appreciate all the support and love, man. It was, and one thing I do want to say, yesterday with Gary. I had a lot of people watching yesterday's show that normally don't tune in, from like family and friends who supported me and stuff. And I'm trying to explain to them, beforehand, before they knew who Gary was or anything, trying to explain to them no, dude, he's really not that bad of a guy. And then every family member is texting me is this a Jet show? Who is this guy? What is he doing? I'm just like, guys, he can't hold an L. And he really, my sister-in-law, she texted me and goes, how many times is he going to repeat that to this poor woman, like, yeah, I'm doing all the heavy lifting because my wife could paint her fingernails and stuff. And I'm just like, guys, I know, man. Jake's just letting him spiral because he's sick of listening to him, so he's just letting him spiral. I'm just like, I love this guy. Like, you know, when I meet him in person, he's a great dude. And just like sometimes he just has to like realize his platform and who he's talking to, and it's just like, sometimes Gary just has to realize what he's doing because he's just making himself look worse than he is. We know he's really not that bad. He's opinionated, but I just want to say, Gary, man, I love you, brother, but you gotta relax a little bit. I had to defend you to like 48 people yesterday, so.
Well, Gary's like a car crash. You can't look away, you know?
Yeah, right. That's a good one. Now my Jets take real quick. I just wanted to float this out there because I know everyone's going crazy about, like, you know, oh, we can't trade Brees. Now, I don't want to trade Brees either. But say you have a deal in place, right, where you're talking to someone in the second round early, and you're like, listen, if Genti's on the board at 7, we're going to take him. We're going to make this deal, Brees for a second round pick. Now, I love Brees, and I don't really want to get rid of him because he's an elite talent that's proven that he could be elite. He's a home run hitter. But if you do want to just think about the future at all, we're not going to pay Brees big money unless he explodes. And if you feel that good about Genty and getting another rookie on a rookie running back, and you could flip it and get a second round pick, which this draft is pretty deep for the second round, like, you know, early second, like Joe. And yeah, shout out to Joe, man. If you guys haven't been watching Joe on X Factor, he is probably the best film break guy out there in terms of he's so technical, and you learn when you watch show. I've been learning shit from Joe Blewitt for at least 3 or 4 years. I've been in every single one of his fantasy leagues that he's ran for Jets X Factor. So that's my man. And shout out to Joe Blewitt because he teaches us and the technologies of football. And if you're not in coaching, you learn from Joe Blewitt. But just like Joe Blewitt was saying, like the 7th prospect versus the 25th prospect, you know, it's not that big of a jump. So if you really feel as a coaching staff, like, you know, you really feel good about Genty and you want to have a deal in place, I'd be open to that if it's a second round pick, you know, in the top 12 to 15. I would be, but that is the only way I'd be open to it because why create a hole when you don't need to? But Brees this is his basic last year with us unless he balls out and we want to, you know, be in the Giants situation where he's not Saquon Barkley, but are you going to let the running back go or are you going to pay him? Like, it's just running backs are always iffy. So I get where some people do want to entertain it, and I would be open to entertaining it if the right deal was in place and, like, Muji was, like, ready to go. You know what I mean, Jake?
I just don't think a second round pick exists, so it's not gonna. Like, that's why it's like if I'm being offered a 4th round pick, like I'm just keeping Brees. I'm not doing.
We're gonna get better pick than 4th round in the comp pick because if we let him go and he balls out and someone's gonna sign him big money, we're gonna get a great pick in that. So that's why you cannot flip Brees unless it's for a second round pick or better, which is obviously not gonna be better. But if someone, you know, like say. What's a good team you could see who's like a running back away? I can't even really think off the top of my head of a team who would maybe like Minnesota.
Denver's
like,
the thought.
like Denver, yeah, because they know each other, and I feel like unless you're going to get a team who's going to do that and almost overpay for him, and you know they're thinking of re-signing him and keeping him, I don't see a better pick doing that, and I'm not doing that because we're going to get a better comp pick when he signs somewhere else. Unless he balls out and we extend him, but I'm just throwing that scenario out there. Not that I'm like wanting to, like, you know, Alan's in the chat like just pleading it, like, oh, just do it. But that's my big Jets take.
The champ is here, baby. Look at this guy, Mr. Bonesy, and as Maniac Madness champion, he's done it.
I can't believe I did it, man. Shout out to everyone I faced. Shout out to all the fun we've had. All the support from everybody. I mean, this is what we want, man. This is the time where we just really have nothing else going on, and just what a lead up to this draft party that is just going to be so epic. I mean, I can't wait for the draft party, bro. I'm right now. I'm prepping right after I finish this As Maniacs tournament and putting all my time into it. Now I got my wife's 40th birthday.
Oh,
Yeah, so I'm coming with the big guns with her. Today I was just running around doing stuff, getting balloons, and I'm literally gonna make my own balloon banner. I'm literally making my own balloon banner because these people want like $700-800 for a balloon banner. I'm like, man, yo, Bonesy's got this, bro. I'm gonna pull my decor out, and I'm gonna make this shit nice, and I'm gonna put some effort into this. It's gonna be fun.
That is awesome. And I'll tell you what, I mean, I really think the video of your wife vacuuming played a big role in defeating Gary. So you definitely got to thank your wife big time.
I did, man. I was trying to like get her to do it, and she was kind of like, "No, I don't want to feed into that." Like, I don't. I'm like, listen, it's not what you think. This is more just mocking Gary. That's all we're doing here. I'm just mocking my opponent, and it's gonna be funny. And she was like, "All right, I'll do it for Jake."
Yes, love it, Dana.
So
Mrs. Bonesy, yes.
So I'm glad everybody enjoyed that, and man, Lowski, what a battle! And I already thanked all my boys that got on here. Shout out to Neil and Rob and everyone who came on, and Yeti, and well, Dre didn't back me, but I'm pretty surprised about that. But all my people, man. How could you pick between me and Lowski anyway? We've both been OGs since the beginning. So shout out to everyone who voted for me. I appreciate you guys, and it's been a great ride. And I'm gonna work on a better speech than this for the tournament, and maybe I'll give the whole Rocky. He's like, if you could change and I could change, then everybody could change.
Ladies and gentlemen, the champ, Mr. Bonesy, the inaugural winner of our first ever Asmaniac Madness tournament.
Oh, Mr. Bonesy.
What a tournament. Couldn't have gone any better. I'm glad the winner of the tournament will be at the draft party, which is great. And how about the fact that Bonesy picked himself to win in the bracket pool? So he won our grand prize there, a signed Sauce Gardner jersey. So he's getting a Sauce jersey, the trophy, free entry to the draft party, and Asmaniac immortality. He will forever be our first ever champion. Also, I shouted out the other two contest pool winners. I just received the email from Yeti. I already spoke with Who's Her Daddy. So our top three in the bracket pool, if you filled one out, you had a chance to win some epic prizes. Our top prize is the signed Sauce jersey that Mr. Bonesy's getting. Second place prize is a signed Jermaine Johnson jersey. And our third place prize is a signed Wayne Corbett jersey. And Yeti just told me that Corbett is one of his all-time favorites. So he is excited to get that, which is awesome. Speaking of prizes, before I wrap, please enter the raffle if you want in on a chance to win a signed Super Bowl III Joe Namath helmet and display case, signed Curtis Martin helmet, and a signed Joe Klecko football. But wait, there's more. We added a fourth prize today. Signed Wayne Corbett football as well. Love it. A true champion, that Mr. Bonesy, huh? All right, let's head to the streets of New York. His camera's not on, but I think he's on standby. Nate, are you there? Nate? Nate is on mute, so we'll come back. Let's say hi to Pork of the Morning. What's up, Pork?
Hey, Jake, what's up? Look what I found when I was going through my stuff, my prized possession, Mark Sanchez.
Hey, I love it. The Sanchez, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think I got it for like $10.
Really? That's a great deal. I should try and see if I can find that for $10 to raffle away. That's awesome.
And I actually brought some Pork of the Morning, too.
Wow, let's go. This has got to be your thing. You got to come on and just eat copious amounts of pork.
Well, I mean, that is my thing. So my actual name is Hankus Porkus, but, Pork of the Morning sounds a little bit more.
Would you say nobody out pizzas the Hut?
This was a free shirt, Jake. I work out in this, I'm headed to the gym. So, this is a shitty shirt. It's a throwaway. I hate Pizza Hut. They don't even have decent pizza in Memphis. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
So,
no, believe I lived in Texas for 6 years. It's trash there.
Yeah. So I'm just really excited about Justin Fields. He's the force multiplier. And when you put that Tyler Warren and him together, I mean, we're going to see a lot of 8-man fronts coming at us. So, a lot of the times it's going to come down the field throwing the ball accurately on those blitzes and whatnot. But I have faith in him. When he was benched last year, I thought it was unjust. I thought they would have been a lot better off if they let him in there instead of putting in Piss Wilson. But, it is what it is. And I'm glad he's on our team now. And you see what Rodgers is doing over there. Pittsburgh fans I'm talking to aren't too happy.
I still think he ends up signing there, but I thought he was waiting for this live event that the McAfee show happened to be doing in Pittsburgh, and they did it the other night.
Yeah.
He wasn't there. So I don't know when he's signing. But I do think for those saying, oh, he'd be doing this to the I think he wanted to play for the Jets, and I do think part of his holdup is he maybe doesn't want to move again and go through all that. You know what I mean? I feel like he was truly comfortable here, and I think maybe he really is deciding if he wants to play or not. I'd imagine they're going to give him to the draft to decide. I mean, you can't really wait that much longer if you're Pittsburgh.
Sure, and I don't think it's fair to Pittsburgh or their fans. I mean, really, if you think about it, or their players. I mean, if I was a player, I'd be pissed off. Oh, this guy, he wants to dance around. He doesn't want to be a Steeler. I mean, well,
it's either Steeler or retire. I think it's it.
Yeah, I would. For him, it's probably better to retire. I don't know, but I'm not that guy to make that decision. It's hard. It's a hard decision to make. He's a gladiator, a warrior. So, I mean, when it's time, it's time.
Now, Pork, let me ask you this. Beastbreaker wants to give you a motivational speech ahead of your appearance at the gym. Do you think you can handle it?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beast joins us now. Beast, what do you got for Pork? Hype him up. Get him ready to go work out.
If you want to stay in shape, do you have a punching bag at that gym?
Yeah, I think there's one there.
Try working on knee strikes and also work on a couple of those one and then two. Left hook, right cross. And Pizza Hut, let me just say this. It used to be good in the 90s, back when it used to be real Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut now is
it's pure garbage. No, it's garbage.
Let me just say this. In my division, I know good pizza places out in Illinois, but I go to the suburbs for good quality. Good quality. They got a Benny's out there that blows my mind. Nono's Pizza, that's actually really, really good. But I'll show you around and I'll show you the good quality. See, all you gotta do is learn from the best. If you want the best, you got the best. And let me just say, I did hear at one point that say the pizza down there in Tennessee is
garbage.
Weak. Okay, give me the worst ones you've ever had. The worst pizzas you've ever had. The worst.
Well, there's a place up the street called Aldo's. I paid $16, and they said it'll be done in an hour. I come back, they're like, you got to wait 30 more minutes. Okay, so I go back, the place is packed. They give me a raw fucking pizza, man. Like, I ain't jiving with that.
You should have reported them for lateness, bad pizza, very bad quality. So, I'm sorry, Alan, I don't eat at Uno's, little fella. That is shit pizza for idiots. Sorry, bye.
They threw me out of the joint. I'm not allowed in there anymore. So,
don't worry. Hey, just think of it this way: in 100 years, who's gonna care?
Now we'll all be dead. So,
Domino's Pizza actually surprised me a little bit. You ever tried Domino's?
Yeah, it's not good. No, well, if I want a good pie, I'll make it my own here. So in my own
Mr.
kitchen.
Ace, Little Caesars used to be good when I was a kid. Little Caesars took a big
now it's $5.
It took a dive. It's garbage.
$5.
It used to be good when I was a kid. Now it's garbage. Garbage. I mean, I've seen better with my eyes open than closed. See, it's called what happened to our food department. Well, look at the crap that they're serving nowadays. It's not at the standard par. Pizza Hut is trash. Domino's is okay, but if you really want real good pizza, you got to go and make your own, my friend. You ever try making your own?
Yeah, I make my own. I got a pizza oven and everything. One of those little pellet ones.
Very good.
You put the pellets in, it cooks it in about 90 seconds. You just gotta
sorry, Bill M. I don't like Papa John's because I've heard about Papa John's before. They're not up to standard par. Not in my book. They're not up there. They're not up to par. I'm sorry. If I want good pizza, I'll make my own. As a matter of fact, I gotta go get ready for hitting the showers. I'm going to Menards.
Beast, do you got a Jets tattoo or anything?
No, I do have one thing that I do have. One of these. And one of these.
Okay.
That and the pin. The pin was $3. The hat was like 16, but it was worth it. It was worth the effort. I'm hoping to get that new one very soon, but right now, with the way everything is nowadays, I'm kind of budgeting right now.
Well, you can see it.
Holy shit! Yikes! Ow! Did they do that with needle?
Oh, they did it with a crayon. In prison, yeah.
Ouch! Ow! Ooh, that's gotta burn. But don't worry, I know what I'm gonna do. I already know what tattoo I want. I already know which one I'm getting. I'm getting the Thunder logo on this arm, and I'm getting the Shao Kahn right under the Thunder logo with a 3-headed dragon, and with Shao Kahn with his big sledgehammer with the spikes going right into a 3-headed dragon and just saying, "You lose."
You like Mortal Kombat, Beast?
Yes, I do. I own all the best Mortal Kombat ones. 1, 2, and 3, and the Ultimate MK3 version. My champion is Sub-Zero. Nobody screws with Sub-Zero. Anybody who fights Sub-Zero is going to get destroyed and put on ice.
I don't know about that, Beast. I don't think he's the best ever, but
Sub-Zero to me is still the best. He's a dangerous weapon and he knows how to operate.
Why are you getting a tattoo of Shao Kahn then if you like Sub-Zero so much? I mean, that really doesn't make sense.
Sub-Zero's my kind of guy. I like Sub-Zero. I'll put Sub-Zero on the right side, but in due time.
I agree with Rich. That was a master class from you, Pork. Tremendous job. I just knew you and Beast would hit it off. I felt like you had the right temperament to handle the Beast. That was tremendous. Great job.
Oh, yeah, I do have to my job, I have to talk to very, sometimes angry folks. Very, very angry. I'm one of the most hated professions in the world. I'm not a cop. So I collect money for the government. So you know that. So if you see my name coming on the letter, you're like, fuck this guy. Like if I was there, they would kill me.
Man, I'll tell you what. Tremendous job, though, Pork. Love it. And I ordered that shirt. It's stuff for you, too. So hopefully it arrives like next week for you.
Yeah, when it gets here, I'll wait to open it, and I'll call in and I'll open it. And,
love it, man. I love it. I hope you become a regular. I can see big things for you in Asmaniac Madness 2026.
No, I will. I love the Jets. I love this show. I was depressed for a long time, so I couldn't even really talk to anybody. Now I'm better, so my life is going in the right direction. So
awesome, man.
Good and you guys are all part of it. So, all right.
Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, Pork of the Morning checking in. Great call. Peter Castro wants a Neil and Bobby sing-off. I'm in. Bobby's not on hold right now. Yeah, I think he's boycotting the show again. I don't know. You notice he goes live the second my show ends, but he doesn't call this show. Interesting. Very interesting. Big fellow with a great super chat. It's appropriate that the quarterback of the Asmaniacs won the tournament. Congrats, Bonesy. Well deserved. A true champion, that Mr. Bonesy. A champion in every sense of the word. All right, we're nearing the end here. Last chance to gift the membership. We've only had a couple of memberships gifted today, so still some chances over the next few shows to get in the Asmaniac raffle. This to me is one of the cooler prizes we've given away. Like I'd want this for myself. If you're a Jet fan, signed Super Bowl III helmet with the score on it. It says Joe Namath's name with the logo on the display. Love it. It's very rare this guy is called in when he's not on the bike, but that is the case right now. Nate joins us on the program. Hello, Nate.
Yeah, no, I was making sure Beast is done. I called in earlier when you said nobody was on hold and you could get him off the line. So once I saw him back on, I figured I'd tap in. But
You want to
you
talk to the
did
Beast?
the Lord of the work. What's that?
You want to talk to the Beast?
No, I just wanted him off my screen. Then you
Oh,
said
okay.
call in.
Oh, sorry, I hit the wrong button.
Jesus. He's probably watching a replay in the bathroom of what he just performed.
It was a great performance, to be fair.
It was. I'm looking at the comments. We've got some funny names in there. I don't know, Jet stuff. Yo, actually, I was gonna say this last call, but I blanked. Shout out! I know you did it, but shout out to Boomtown because he goes. I know you know that your tournament is probably not possible without Boom, but he goes so in depth when he does anything. Whether
It's
it's
amazing.
like I don't know I don't know the right word to describe it, but like when he puts his mind to something, he's just like I'm doing. He's like the gator of videos. But he works a lot in the background, and I guess he doesn't put his face on the show. But I know he had a lot to do with like getting this tournament started and the top 10 moments you read, and he puts a
He's the
I don't know,
official
he's good with
historian of the
words.
show. That's how I would describe him because he kept track
Yeah.
of like who called in, who was actually eligible to be in the pool. Like people forget, like we started with 64. There were 130 names that we had to dwindle down just to get to 64.
Yeah, no, some good ones aren't in, but yeah, definitely wouldn't have been what it is without Boom and the rest of the committee. But he does a lot of background work. So shout out to him because I'm sure I could pretty much guarantee I could speak for you and say there's going to be a second one next year. This will be an annual march, especially since the football season dies down. That this will be an annual thing. So call in. It was a dead call day today, but I guess someone anticipating that after the 20. It's like, what do we talk about now? And then Blewitt is amazing. Shout out to Joe, season ticket holder. I think I'm actually near his section next year. He knows so much about the game. It's amazing. And at the same time, and I mean this in the most loving way, it's just boring. You know what I'm saying? Like at times it's just like monotonous to watch. I see you like yawning over there. It's just unless you really love it on some like Blewitt, Andrew Fialco, it's like I can't tell that his shoulder wasn't turned this way to protect his body. But shout out to guys like that put in a lot of the work in.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. I mean him and really like just the in-depth analysis that X Factor in general provides. Like I think if you're a Jet fan, like there's a reason why we feature so many of their people on the show. I think it's the best fan site for any of the New York teams that are out there.
Yeah. I mean X Factor hired Faria, so I mean they've kind of gone left, but before that they were really a credible source.
You love Faria
for Jets information. What?
You love Faria.
I love knocking Faria. It's fun. I mean, he reads the comments, so it's just fun to interact with, right? We're all in the show for interacting and have fun, and if he's going to read the comments, you might as well have fun with him.
There's a funny account in the comments. I'm not reading it, but I will acknowledge that you see it.
Read it. It's a good one.
I'm not reading the username. No, I will not do that.
Pride Month the GM?
Yeah, Pride Month the GM. I get the reference. I haven't seen the clip. Apparently, you and June the GM got into it on the Boy Green show today.
We're gonna have a little one-on-one. He said he used to smoke people like me, so he want to have a little one-on-one battle. But I think he has to like grease up his knees and lose weight or all the other stuff he was talking about. One day it'll happen. We'll get the content. Just need to sign a waiver form on my website, and we'll be good to go.
I'm excited. I can't wait.
See you on a Saturday morning. It'll be a good one. It'll be a good show for sure. But yeah, shout out to Pride Month the GM, my guy.
I love it. Nate, you're the man. I will see you in 13 days.
I'll see you tonight, maybe. If you're there at like 10, I'm done with I'll be out of the gym at like 9:30 tonight, and I was gonna spike down to see Johnny and like Snowball people that are gonna be there. So I'm gonna if you're there at 10, that's when I'm probably gonna arrive and
cool.
Say what's up.
I should be there. Sounds good.
All right. See you this evening. If not, I'll see you in 13 days, like you said.
Nate, Nate, live from his home, not the bike for a change. All right, we're going to wrap up shortly here, but Dre is in the raffle for 5. What up, Dre? Thank you, as always, for the support, my friend.
Yeah, here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, baby.
Isaac, Dilly Bop, Legacy Aaron Green, Trill, and Luis Montanaz all receiving a channel membership there from Dre Correa. He's going to die. Ladies and gentlemen, another membership has come through the pipeline here. Appreciate it. You're in the raffle now for one T-Town Jet. Congrats, congrats, congrats. T-Town's Jet gifted membership went to Mr. Swag McMuffin, which is obviously a government name. Okay. Let's say hello to Papa Jet before we wind down. If you get the membership, you're in the raffle. Keep that in mind as we near the end of our show. What's up, Papa?
How you doing, Jake?
How are you?
Hey, I just want to say a few things on the tournament. First, congratulations to you and the committee. Awesome job. I think it was a huge success, so good job on that. And through the tournament, there was a few people bitching about seeds and can't believe the number one lost and all that, but I just think some people, if they're not bitching, they're not happy, And I mean, for the committee, this wasn't a 10-minute job, I mean, they took a lot of time to do all this stuff,
Yeah, volunteered. I don't have the means to pay an actual committee like the NCAA has people do. So it was just a love of the show and the community we have. So yeah, I mean, they did an amazing job. I mean, there's no way to make everyone happy, but we got great matchups. The Sweet 16, the Elite 8 were perfect. The Final Four, who could argue with the four people who were left in the Final Four?
You can't. They deserve to be there, and Bonesy and King Lowski deserve to be in the championship. It's just that simple, And congratulations to Bonesy and King Lowski. And Jake, you could probably have that battle today, and King Lowski might win today. That's how close it was.
Yeah, it's a coin flip every day. I mean,
for your first tournament, you couldn't ask for anything more, But my gut feeling on the number ones was correct. And I'm going to call out another one. Gut feeling, early one. I say one of the 5%ers makes it to the Final Four next year.
Ooh, I like that.
And actually, I'm hoping that the 5%ers, we can start calling them 10 and 15%ers or something like that.
Hey,
hopefully
that's the goal. Yeah, keep growing the channel for sure.
Hopefully they grow. They just, I think just with the three I know the most is Mimosa, Jen Graves, and Leany. I know there's others out there, but I think Mimosa's got to start calling in a little bit more, even if it's like once a week, because she definitely adds to that group, so. And last but not least, Jake, I mean, what this tournament did for me, it got me connected, because I started following the chat a little bit more. So it got me more connected to some people, and hopefully I get to meet them someday. But also, I noticed a few more trollers than I thought there would be in there, and I know you can't stop trollers, they're going to troll. And I'm talking about the people that they don't talk Jets at all. They just, everything's negative. They wait for people to call in and they just say something that, there'll be a couple in there after I hang up, but we got to cut them some slack because, and this was like 3 or 4 months ago, but I read an article and I forgot what forum it was on, but they did a study and what they found out was 90% of trollers have small penises. Seriously. So we got to cut them some slack, and they troll to take out their frustrations on their small penis. So that's it.
Papa Jet, Sally appointment. I was not expecting that. I very rarely get surprised by anything with this show anymore, but like coming from him, that was not. I love it. Papa Jet, you're the man. Papa Jet's in this tournament next year, and he'll get the beloved though too. Because how can anyone not like Papa Jet? He's a great Jet fan, loves the show, good dude. Wow, incredible. All right, let's close the show with our king. Ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you a Gator customized intro is in the works. But our guy, King Lowski, is on the line. What's up,
Jake,
King?
my brother. Jake, my brother. It's always good to see you on this fine Friday, my brother. Hey, man. Shout out to the Ass Maniacs, man. I appreciate all the love I received yesterday, man. Shout out to Bones, man. You deserved it, my guy. You deserve the championship, baby. Make sure you get that speech together and make it epic now, Bones, because I need footage of it. We didn't get footage of Jake at the damn wedding, okay? We need that speech too. All right? We need these speeches, man, because I know they epic, okay? But I just wanted to say, man, I appreciate all the Ass Maniacs, man. Y'all know I don't be calling just to call, okay? When I call, I want to make points. I want to make salient points, okay? But hey, man, I just wanted to say, man, I appreciate y'all, man. I love everybody in the chat, baby. Hey, man, shout out to Joe Blewitt too, man. I appreciated the film breakdown, man. All of the Brees talk is ridiculous. Get it out of here, okay? And the more I looked at that film, the more I thought I'm more convinced that Tyler Warren is the guy. He's the guy, okay? At the end of the day, Mimbu and all of them guys, they cool. And they'll be a good asset to the team. But Warren is the guy because of the need of a weapon. Okay? You cannot be counterproductive talking about trading Brees, going to get Genty, and then you got Garrett and Genty, and then what else? You know what I'm saying? That's counterproductive. Okay? You already got a guy in Brees that knows the system, knows how the team runs, okay? We know that he can get anywhere from 1,100 to 1,600 yards from scrimmage, okay? So at the end of the day, we don't need to get rid of that. We just need to know how to use that, okay? Not get rid of it, learn how to use it. And that's why I say it always is going to come down to coaching staff, okay? Aaron Glenn can talk all that rah-rah hype, all of that he wants. But at the end of the day, son, you're going to have to produce and win games, okay? Because at the end of the day, like I always say, the talent is there. You just got to put it all together. But, hey, man, I just wanted to say that, man. Congratulations to Bones again, baby. RIP to Keith Best, man. Shout out to the Ads Maniac. Shout out to the chat, baby. JTF! Just. JTF! Just.
I'm still laughing, by the way, at Bobby Midnight thinking that he got one on King Lowski by calling, what do you call him, a rooster? Because of that video, he sounds like a chicken or a rooster. King, you're the best. Truly was a 50-50 matchup yesterday. Could have been King, could have been Bonesy. It was 50-50 with 30 minutes to go on the show. Unreal. What a matchup. What a Final Four. What a tournament. Thank you to everybody. Reminder, if you want some merch, you want to rock it to the draft party, order it now, and it should be there before the party, 13 days from today. JakeAsman.com/shop. If you're a Patreon member, you get 20% off every item. And if you're a Patreon member or considering joining the Patreon, when you sign up for the year, you now save 20%. I've increased it from 15 to 20. So another added perk for everyone out there. Appreciate all of you for your support. My name is Jake Asman. If you've been watching for the last 2 hours, you probably figured that out by now. Again, thank you to all. We got Nick Faria joining us. I'm having issues when I change slides here, so we got Beast randomly not in the attic. But anyway, it won't be as long of a show because I am appearing at that Badlands event that Joe and Connor have put together. So I'm looking forward to that. If you're going, I'll see you there. We'll have Nick probably around 3:45 Eastern today or 4, right around there. So that should be fun. Till then, enjoy your day. Enjoy your Friday. Get a draft ticket if you haven't. A couple of you bought tickets during the show right here, which is great. We have less than like 60 left, so we will sell out soon. So buy. If you're on the fence about going, just lock it in, man. It's worth it. We're going to have a blast. Talk to you soon. Go Jets. January 2003, 41-0. Jets beat the Colts. What were your thoughts that day?
Yes.
Oh! Just kidding. We love you. Football's
He's a
family.
rough guy.
Yeah.
Rough gal.
Love it. Incredible. Peyton Manning's last game. A loss to the New York Jets.
And hung upside
In
down.
Peyton's last game, you lost to the Jets. Blue just attacked me. Where's Ian Rappaport? I need to file a complaint with NFL security. Where's Rap Sheet? I need to learn how to file a complaint with security around here. Blue, you're sick. You're sick, Blue. All right? You'll hear from my lawyers, Rappaport style. That was assault. Oh, here. Where's Goodell? Oh, my God. Blue. You're sick. 41-0. Jets beat the Colts in the playoffs. Peyton Manning's last game. Sanchez to Braylon Edwards after a Cromartie kickoff return to put us in great range for a Nick Falk field goal. 17-16 Jets win. Never forget it, Blue. Oh, my God. I just got bullied by a mascot.
You did.